Hey, church family. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe and healthy. It's good to be with you on this Wednesday. Get together for a little midweek Bible study. Always get together and good to get together in the middle of the week and kind of refocus and reframe our minds as we head into the rest of the week. I remember when I was in college, a band by the name of Mercy Me, I'm sure many of you have heard of them, released what ended up becoming one of the most popular songs of our time, popular Christian songs of our time. I Can Only Imagine. Many of you have probably heard that song. Some of you maybe even have seen the movie by the same title, I Can Only Imagine, that was released a few years ago, I think a couple years ago, about the lead singer for Mercy Me, Bart Millard, and his story and his life. And the song, I love the song, I Can Only Imagine. And song is just this beautiful song that really speaks to the hope that we have of heaven one day, and the joy that we look forward to experiencing there one day when we stand, or as he puts it, dance in the glory of God's presence there in heaven one day. And I love that song. But there's another song of theirs that has become one of my favorites as well. It's a song called Even If. And while the song I Can Only Imagine speaks to the hope that we have of heaven, the song Even If really speaks to the struggle to hold on to that hope here on earth. And I think one of the reasons why I love the song so much is because it's so convicting to me and challenging to me about the kind of faith that God calls me to. And I won't go through all the lyrics, but let me just read to you the chorus. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing it, but the chorus goes like this. It says, I know you're able, and I know you can. Save through the fire with your mighty hand. But even if you don't, my hope is you alone. I know the sorrow and I know the hurt would all go away if you just say the word. But even if you don't, my hope is you alone. That song reminds me of one of my favorite stories in the Bible. The three friends had every reason to doubt God, though they had been faithful to him. They had been taken as slaves into a foreign country. Their homeland had been destroyed. The history of their nation seemed to be coming to an end, and now they were about to die, or so it seemed. The king of the country where they found themselves had ordered them to be burned alive. This king, a man named Nebuchadnezzar, had built this huge statue honoring his favorite person, himself. It was a massive statue, 90 feet high, another 9 feet wide, and the king gave the order that whenever the royal music was played, everybody had to stop what they were doing and fall down and worship this idol. But these three friends, named Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, refused to bow down to this statue. Their belief in the one true God wouldn't allow them to compromise and bow down to this idol, no matter what the cost to them might be. And so the king had them arrested and threatened to burn them alive in this huge furnace. But wanting to show himself to be a somewhat gracious king, he offered them one more chance to worship the image. That's when the three friends showed what kind of faith they truly had. Daniel chapter 3 says this: Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to the king, King Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your majesty's hand. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold that you have set up. They assured the king that they would not worship his idol. They also told him quite clearly that their God was able to rescue them, and they thought that he would do just that. But they also made it clear that their faith is in God, even if he chooses not to rescue them. Far too often we want to trust in God as long as he does what we want him to do and when we want him to do it. Just save my loved one and then I'll believe. Just get me out of this mess and then I'll put my faith in you. Just do this for me and then I'll trust you. But we don't need a just and faith. We need an even if faith. We need the kind of faith that says, Lord, I'll trust you even if you don't do what I hope. Lord, I'll trust in you Even if you don't answer this prayer the way that I want, I'll believe in you no matter what. There's a passage at the end of the book of Habakkuk that says this: though the fig tree does not bud, and there are no grapes in the vines, though the olive crop fails and the fields produce no food, though there are no sheep in the pen and no cattle in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will be joyful in God, my Savior. We don't need a faith that comes and goes according to our circumstances. We need an even if faith that follows God and trusts in Him no matter what. And sometimes He will remove that trial or that adversity. Sometimes He will bring healing. Sometimes He will save us through the fire with His mighty hand. And I can't answer why sometimes He does and why sometimes He doesn't. That's above my pay grade. But even if He doesn't, our hope is still in Him, because He is good and He is faithful and He is worthy of our praise. Hope you have a blessed day. God bless.